Bonjour. Once again, we're going over les pronoms compléments d'objet indirect. The book gives this description pour décrire qui fait quoi, à qui. À qui is the key word for indirect objects, because indirect objects are after a preposition, like à most of the time. So they are indirect, and they are the me, te, or nous ou vous, if it's you or me or we, us. But they are lui and leur for him or her, or them in the plural. Now we're going over this in the context of the vocabulary lesson. I've already introduced it in the context of the direct object because I like doing direct and indirect at the same time. I like to emphasize the difference between direct and indirect, and as well as the importance of placement, which is the same for both. You put it before the first verb. Il ne lui parle pas, or I should not say just the first verb, because sometimes you have two sentences, or you have one verb setting up another verb, as in, I can talk to him later on today. Je peux lui parler plus tard aujourd'hui. Je peux lui parler, because it's my use of pouvoir is setting up, I am able to talk to him. But in French, parler à lui, that à lui, parler à Robert, parler à Robert. The indirect object is related to parler. It's not related to can. So you put it in front of directly in front of the verb that it is linked to. You know, each object, whether direct or indirect, is linked to a verb. It's it receives directly the action of the verb, or indirectly, mediated through the preposition à. So, il ne lui parle pas souvent. He doesn't speak to Frank a lot. Let's go down to activity K. I don't want to look at J. I want K. La communication. Répondez aux questions avec un pronom complément d'objet direct. I like this exercise because you see a lot of verbs that you would use in an office setting or in the setting of your work. N'est-ce pas? Work is more and more a place where la communication et la télécommunication, n'est-ce pas? La télécommunication est essentielle. So, est-ce que vous envoyez des textos à votre sœur, ou est-ce que vous envoyez des textos à votre collègue? Oui, je lui envoie des textos, ou non, je ne lui envoie pas de textos. So, remember that there's that little rule. When it's affirmative, it's des textos. When it's negative, de textos. Est-ce que vous envoyez des courriels à votre professeur? Do you send emails to your professor? Oui, je lui envoie des courriels, ou non, je ne lui envoie pas de courriels. Or maybe you guys are responding as a class. Oui, nous lui envoyons des courriels. Or nous ne lui envoyons pas de courriels. Est-ce que vous envoyez des lettres à vos parents? Est-ce que vous envoyez des textos à votre meilleur ami? Est-ce que vous envoyez des messages instantanés à vos camarades de classe? And here, as you go on, you're going to practice indirect as opposed to direct. Prêtez-vous vos livres à vos camarades? Oui, on prête à quelqu'un, so that's indirect. Regardez-vous souvent les films de François Truffaut? I see no preposition there, I just see regardez souvent les films. So oui, je les regarde souvent, as opposed to number one, je leur prête mes livres. Demandez-vous de l'argent à votre camarade de chambre? I see à, so I know it's indirect. Je lui demande de l'argent. Posez-vous des questions à votre professeur? Oui, je lui pose des questions. Non, je ne lui pose pas de questions. Faites-vous souvent la cuisine? Oui, je la fais souvent. Non, je ne la fais pas souvent. Lisez-vous souvent le journal? Non, je ne le lis pas souvent. So, this is just a review of the indirect objects. The most important thing is to become comfortable with where you place the indirect object in the sentence. In English, we simply take out the proper noun and we put in the pronoun. We don't change the place. We say, are you calling him? Are you calling John? Are you going to talk to him? Are you going to talk to her? In French, there is this movement. Est-ce que tu lui parles? Est-ce que tu l'appelles? Ou est-ce que tu lui téléphones? There's the change of syntax or word order. And there's also, of course, your attention to whether it's an indirect or a direct object. This last one, l'année dernière ou l'année prochaine, is very interesting because it's testing you to use the passé composé and the futur proche. N'est-ce pas? So, for example, à votre mère, je lui ai acheté du chocolat. So that's the passé composé. Je lui ai acheté du chocolat. But if you're using the futur proche, l'année prochaine, I would say, je vais lui acheter, and then acheter has an ER, je vais lui acheter du chocolat. I'm going to buy her some chocolate. Bon courage!